Pine, Georgia's #1 crop. Dense forest lands blanketing millions of acres in every part of the state. A healthy economy, a happy wedding of 20th century industry with Georgia's agricultural heritage. The land has always been an important commodity in Georgia. In the 19th century, stately plantation homes spelled a way of life unique in a changing world. Georgia's eminence as a supplier of cotton to the world was unchallenged. Lush fields bloomed faithfully year after year, bringing untold wealth into the state. Cotton was king, its kingdom, Georgia. Agriculturally, Georgia was self-sufficient, supplying its citizens with an abundance of fruits and vegetables from fertile, generous soil. But suddenly, a change. More than a century of limited, even one-crop planting resulted in disaster for countless acres of precious soil. Fields became barren, robbed of minerals. The ugly specter of erosion took the place of orderly furrows. By the late 1930s, the waste had become all too apparent, and Georgia recognized its duty to replenish its once proud lands. Among the first to take positive action was Georgia's pulp and paper industry. Through an ambitious educational program, it showed Georgians of all ages a logical way to revive lost acres. Pine trees native to the state, always important to Georgia's lumber and naval stores industries, provided an answer to the problem of soil depletion. Here was a crop that grew easily in Georgia's soil, a crop that gave protection from erosion, that helped make the land strong again. The pulp and paper industry had started a new trend in the state's agricultural activity. Besides the millions of pine seedlings set out each year on the industry's own lands, millions more are donated to private farms and landowners. Working through organizations like the 4-H clubs, a vast educational program is showing Georgians the most modern forestry procedures. Careful reforestation is stressed, the quick growth of the Georgia pine demanding constant attention to the problems of timber depletion. Precious forest lands are cared for lovingly, watched over from every vantage point. Scientific control of Georgia's pine crop has resulted in a newfound source of wealth for the state. Abundant forests are still giving the lumber and naval stores industries an unending supply of raw material. But modern living has developed another important use for the Georgia pine. Today, Georgia tree farming operations supply the pulp and paper industry with a constant flow of raw material. Growing stronger every year, this huge industry has created approximately 20,000 jobs for Georgians. Every part of the state benefits. Timber finds its way along the roads and highways of Georgia to pulp and paper mills in dozens of communities. Pine from Georgia forest lands finds its way to places like the Brunswick Pulp and Paper Company, jointly owned by the Mead Corporation and the Scott Paper Company. This huge plant performs the initial steps in transforming timber into paper for many uses. Supplied mostly by private landowners, much of the pulpwood is delivered to the mill by independent truckers from forest lands within a 50-mile radius of Brunswick. Logs from distant points throughout the state arrive by rail. Easily unloaded by heavy-duty cranes, the logs are deposited on the conveyor for the trip to the debarking drums. Every 24 hours, the mill converts 1,300 cords of wood into strong fibered kraft pulp. Some of this bleached pulp is shipped to other mills to add strength to white printing and writing papers, tissues, towels, and other important paper products. At the top of the conveyor, the logs drop into the mill's 3 debarking drums. Rotating 6 times a minute, the drums peel the bark from the logs, the bark falling onto a conveyor through slots in the drums. The cleaned logs move along to the chippers, where spinning discs, each 90 inches across and equipped with 10 razor-sharp blades, chew up 1 log every second and a half. The resultant chips are carried along in a steady stream to the digesters, where they're cooked for 3.5 hours, separating residuous matter from the cellulose fibers. Each digester can process 44 tons of chips at one time. A 4-stage washing carries away all waste material and screens out all but the finest cellulose fibers. After a series of screening and bleaching processes, more refining takes place. The fibers are made pliable, the ends flared out, so they will interlace securely at the paper machine. The fibers, now called pulp, are constantly examined to maintain quality. Placed on an endless wire belt, the fibers are spread evenly to form a uniform sheet of pulp. A series of huge steam pressure cylinders evaporate the remaining water from the pulp. This dried, endless web is then ready for trimming and sheeting. Precise cutting wheels trim the pulp to suitable sizes. The stacked sheets are automatically straightened, then weighed to determine the number of sheets in each stack. Finally, out to the loading dock, on its way to other mills to be converted into tissues, napkins, towels, writing paper, business paper, publication paper, and other paper products. Another major use of Georgia pine is in the manufacture of kraft paperboard, or liner board as it is technically called, at modern mills like the Rome Kraft Company in North Georgia, owned jointly by the Mead Corporation and Inland Container Corporation. After going through the same initial process of debarking, chipping, digesting, and washing, natural unbleached pulp is then fed into the Conqueror, one of the world's largest paper-making machines. 2 stories high, 490 feet long, this machine can produce over 700 tons of kraft paperboard a day. Traveling at high speed, the wood fibers are gradually transformed into paperboard. Precise controls guiding the machine's progress. An intricate network of rollers squeezing, forming, compressing the fibers into a solid, uniform sheet of kraft paperboard. Samples are removed from the machine at regular intervals and sent to testing laboratories to make sure high standards of quality are being met at all times. Every 10,000 feet, the continuous sheet of kraft paperboard is broken, and another huge roll is removed. Heavy-duty cranes lifting 12 tons of paperboard quickly, effortlessly. Each roll, 20 feet wide, is cut into small rolls of prescribed width. Equipment is so designed that the big rolls move along smoothly and quickly. The separated rolls come off the rewinder and are ready for shipment. At the loading docks, trailer trucks are lined up. Forklifts scurry by carrying the big rolls of kraft paperboard. Modern loading equipment, carefully supervised methods, speed shipments on their way to users throughout the nation. Thousands of people have contributed to the manufacture of kraft paperboard. People who grow pine trees, people who produce all kinds of other raw materials, people who turn Georgia pine into pulp. As trucks leave the kraft mill, they carry the raw material for paper conversion plants, where thousands more will contribute their skills to the manufacture of countless packaging products. One of Georgia's foremost converters, one of the world's largest users of kraft paperboard, the Mead Atlanta Paper Company, a subsidiary of the Mead Corporation, is a regular customer of Georgia's paper mills. Shipments entering the plant represent completion of a full cycle. From pine seedling to finished paper product, Georgia has contributed raw material, procedures, and skills to the pulp and paper industry. Located on historic ground, Mead Atlanta brings over 90 years of experience to the packaging field, a history that began when Georgia was reasserting herself as an important part of a newly strengthened nation. Today, packaging is a giant industry. Countless consumer goods find their way to market in paperboard cartons and containers, and much of the packaging is designed and produced in Georgia. A fascinating business, the packaging industry does much more than wrap cans, jars, bottles, soaps, cigarettes, food products in a piece of paperboard. Modern packaging protects the product, helps the retailer sell the product, helps the shopper select and carry home the merchandise she needs. The revolution in packaging is based on modern methods, on imaginative ideas. It begins when the natural kraft paperboard is received, when advanced handling techniques speed raw materials to the production lines, when innovations like the two-way radio control the flow of raw material at the receiving docks and storage areas. The pulse of a modern packaging plant is quickened by efficient operation, strengthened by mass production. To serve the packaging needs of American industry, the modern packaging plant must keep on hand an enormous supply of strong fibered kraft. This huge storage pit, when full, holds only enough paperboard for approximately 10 days' production. A complex business, the packaging industry utilizes many machines, many skills. First, giant equipment to lift 4,000-pound rolls of paperboard from storage, to transport rolls of kraft paperboard to the production line. The corrugator, devouring 3 12,000-foot rolls of kraft paperboard every 30 minutes. Agile men quickly splicing new rolls to form a continuous flow. Dependent upon customer strength requirements for shipping, 3 to 5 rolls of paperboard enter the corrugator at once. Tremendous pressure bonds the sheets together, laminating them into a corrugated paperboard. A city block in length, the corrugator can turn out more than 4,000 square feet of corrugated paperboard per minute. The paperboard emerges from the corrugator in large sheets, automatically cut to prescribed size. The corrugator can produce several different lengths and widths of board at one time. Other machines receive the corrugated sheets, print, score, and slot them for easy folding into sturdy paperboard shipping containers. These same versatile machines, while scoring and slotting the containers, also print brand names and product information at the same time. The final step in production of a corrugated shipping container is performed by equipment such as the folder taper, an amazing machine that automatically feeds, folds, and tapes at the rate of 6,000 boxes per hour. Containers can similarly be stitched or glued. When the boxes come off the folder taper, They're ready for use, needing only to be set up and filled with television sets, appliances, clothing, cosmetics, food products, and 1,000 other items which depend on sturdy packaging for easy shipment to markets all over the world. The creation, the production of modern packaging requires imaginative planning. For the packager must build from the ground up. His responsibility begins when the customer gives him a packaging problem to solve. From the packager must come the basic design for a container, its shape, its size, its convenience and utility. Artwork is the packager's province too. Color, lettering, illustration must all mesh to produce a design that's attractive, easily and quickly noticed, a design that will catch the shopper's eye, encouraging him to buy, to give the package grab appeal. Review and discussion are important activities in the graphic arts department of a modern packaging firm. Many designs are prepared, their merits debated, colors changed, lettering altered, until everyone is satisfied the design is right for mass display as well as a single unit. Specialists in every phase of graphic arts contribute their skills, their talents to the final design. Containers must be engineered too. Construction, size, shape are important if the container is to be functional as well as attractive and adapted to the customer's plant and equipment. Special problems of the user are solved by the packaging engineer. How to group 6 cans of tomato juice in one compact, good-looking container. How to create a package that will help sell more tomato juice. Ease the handling problems of the grocer. Make shopping easier for the homemaker. The answer at Mead Atlanta Paper Company was creation of the cluster pack and the bottle master. Ingenious cartons for glass jars or canned goods, for beverages of all kinds, cartons which have revolutionized the packaging field. Production of these cartons is as advanced as their design. Skilled craftsmen build intricate cutting dies to form many cartons from one sheet of craft paperboard. The heart of a packaging plant is printing equipment. The giant offset press which prints 5 colors in one high-speed continuous operation. Paperboard entering the offset presses travels at the rate of 6,000 sheets per hour. Strict maintenance, careful attention, sees each run through to a perfect conclusion. The creative designs of the artist are turned into vivid, colorful reality. Among the newest high-speed printing presses is the rotogravure, performing the jobs formerly done by several machines. This half-block long press receives craft paperboard in rolls, one automatically spliced to another to form an endless sheet. Delicate electronic controls guide the operation. The paper winding its way through scores of rollers. Separate cylinders print up to 7 colors on each carton, in sequence and in perfect register. Every 28,000 feet, the printed paperboard is transferred from one take-up reel to another, so that the press need never be shut down during a run. On each finished reel, 40,000 cartons, perfect reproductions, printed in just 35 minutes. The gravure press has a capacity of 150 miles of cartons a day, producing full-color reproductions and fine process printing for modern merchandising of hundreds of consumer items. A battery of mercury presses combine high-speed printing and cutting, another graphic example of the packaging industry's efficiency. 18,000 feet of paper travel through the length of the mercury in just 1 hour, following inline printing, intricate dies within the press cutting complex patterns in the paperboard, producing ingenious cartons for use in the beverage industry. finely balanced mechanism of the mercury press produces a steady flow of Bottle Master carry-home cartons, each printed in many colors, each die cut to rigid specifications. Multicolor cylinder letter presses illustrate just one of the many advanced printing methods used in a modern packaging plant. A battery of cylinder cutters receives the printed sheets and die cuts them into many cartons from each large sheet. Each of these swift, accurate cutting machines die cuts millions of cartons. As the sheets come off the cutter, they're stripped of excess board and readied for the next operation. Some cartons are sent through these specially adapted gluers, where they're accurately folded and welded together with a strong adhesive. In another gluing operation, Mead Atlanta engineers have made special modifications to handle the Bottle Master carton. Several hundred cartons a minute make the trip through these gluing machines. Other cartons go through the right angle gluer, alert operators feeding the machine, seeing that everything operates properly. Here the importance of precision package design is reaffirmed. The package engineer has designed his carton so that each fold or glue application is in the proper sequence and tolerance. This machine can produce complex cartons demanding compound folds and multi-joints. Careful planning, precise organization make sure that each carton emerging from the gluers meets high standards of quality. Nevertheless, spot checks are made at regular intervals, quality control guaranteeing uniformity in each carton produced. The perfection seen in modern packaging is the result not only of quality design and production, but of constant testing of raw materials at the paper mills and at Mead laboratories. In addition, endless experimentation within the plant makes sure that cartons measure up to the demands of the manufacturer, the merchant, and the consumer. Plastic assure maximum waterproofing during trip after trip from bottling plant to store to consumer and back again. The strength of modern cartons is tested under pressures and strains many times greater than they'll receive in actual use. When the cartons are ready to be shipped to the user, their performance, their effectiveness are proven. Thorough research, exhaustive testing, imaginative design, and quality production have gone into each tailor-made carton. Each carton answers the packaging needs of its user. Beyond creation of the carton itself, the modern packager's job involves providing the carton user with packaging services. Special machines have been developed to help save time and money in the actual packaging operation. This machine receives cans and cluster pack cartons, wraps and locks the carton around groups of cans, and delivers the completed cluster pack package all in one fast, efficient, and automatic operation. Installed at the user's plant, compact automatic packaging machines speed up production, cut costs, save space, and ensure a convenient, handsome package. Each cluster pack is uniform, locked securely. It's no glue, no staple construction, enhanced by proper assembly and the strength of natural craft. In a typical bottling plant, other equipment designed and manufactured by Mead Atlanta automatically opens Bottle Master soft drink cartons to facilitate faster production and more efficient plant operations. Supermarkets across the country illustrate the effects of modern packaging. Everything comes in a package of one type or another, and in addition to single units of thousands of items, more and more products of all kinds are being packaged in 2s, 4s, and 6s, simplifying the merchant's job of storekeeping in pricing merchandise and making displays faster, neater, and more attractive. Appealing, imaginative designs introduce the product to the shopper. With the growth of suburban living and less frequent trips to the store, multiple packaging helps the shopper have an adequate supply on hand at all times. Selling and buying made easy through the development of new packaging techniques which take advantage of impulse buying, up-to-date merchandising being served by up-to-date packaging methods. Practically everything we use is packaged conveniently, handsomely in modern cartons. Special displays increase the efficiency of merchandising, reduce shopping time for the consumer, and cut costs for both the buyer and seller. New merchandising developments like spring roll shelving have also added to the packaging revolution. The blends of individual containers have given way to the billboard effect of multi-unit packaging, all an important contribution to modern living. Functional and attractive folding cartons protect and merchandise clothing, bakery goods, food products, cigarettes, batteries, and thousands of other items. In supermarkets and drugstores, the shopper finds conveniently packaged health and beauty aids, cleansers, pet foods, jellies, liquid detergents, fruit juices, and canned vegetables. And wherever people are thirsty, refreshing beverages of all kinds are neatly and attractively packaged in sturdy, water-repellent carry-home cartons. Practically every product of American industry finding its way to market in paperboard, cartons, and containers. By utilizing Georgia's bountiful supply of natural resources, the pulp and paper and packaging industries are helping Georgia and Georgians prosper. On forest lands in every Georgia county, behind the wheels of timber-laden trucks on every Georgia highway, at mill operations in dozens of communities throughout the state, a family of nearly 20,000 Georgians is helping the pulp and paper industry grow and flourish. In paper converting plants like Mead, Atlanta, where packaging is advertising, thousands more are turning Georgia-made pulp and paper into useful cartons and containers of countless products. And in towns all over the nation, families returning from the weekly shopping trip bring with them scores of products packaged in paperboard cartons and containers made in Georgia by Georgians, of raw material nurtured by Georgia's rich, generous soil.